Commissioner Thompson.
Madam Attorney General, thank you for your testimony today. I think you were a bold and gutsy Attorney General and stood up for what you believed and provided extraordinary leadership on many issues during your time, and I think the nation should be grateful for that.
Thank you, Governor.
Two questions, if I might. In today's hearing and in past hearings, there seems to be an undercurrent or an assumption, or maybe even something more specific or direct than that, that there is some kind of reporting relationship, or ought to be some kind of reporting relationship between the Attorney General of the United States and the National Security Advisor, or the Director of the FBI and the National Security Advisor. The Director of the FBI reports to you as the Attorney General, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you, as a confirmed cabinet official, report to the President, is that correct?
That's correct.
And while there are undoubtedly many appropriate occasions for you to confer with the National Security Advisor or members of the NSC staff, and you did, and other attorneys general have as well, and other directors of the FBI has as well, the National Security Advisor is not some sort of super AG or super director, is that correct?
That's correct.
In your prepared testimony on page 5, I think it's worth repeating this few lines because you weren't able to do it in your opening remarks. There are simply no walls or restrictions on sharing the vast majority of counterterrorism information. There are no legal restrictions at all on the ability of the members of the intelligence community to share intelligence information with each other. With respect to sharing between intelligence investigators and criminal investigators, information learned as a result of a physical surveillance or from a confidential informant can be legally shared without restriction. While there were restrictions placed on information gathered by criminal investigators as a result of grand jury investigations or Title III wiretaps, in practice, they did not prove to be a serious impediment since there was very little significant information that could not be shared. If you were to have used those words in a legal opinion directed to the members of the intelligence community and specifically to the members of the FBI and the CIA, according to a lot of what we have heard in public or in private, and certainly according to a lot of assumptions reported in the press, the members of the intelligence community would have been astounded. Or am I wrong about that?
I think some would have been astounded. I think it's, again, very important to understand, and I think I learned from this, how important it is when you announce a policy, when you try to do something, that you make sure you train, you get feedback from people. And I think one of the things that I failed to do was to get feedback from them, to understand exactly what their problems were with it, try to accommodate those interests, and proceed to ensure a full exchange of information.
In your answer to an earlier question, you said that, I think I'm quoting you correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that you did not say something like this or talk about this subject near the close of your administration because you had failed to achieve consensus within the department on the issue. What did you mean by that, and why would you, as the Attorney General of the United States, have needed consensus within the department before you issued your interpretation of what the law did or did not demand?
This obviously was a very sensitive issue, and to make a decision that I thought that that would be binding, obviously they could change it. I should have great confidence, it seems to me, before delivering to the next administration a decision. I chose to let the next administration make the decision because, no, you're right, I don't have to have consensus, but I've got to have a pretty clear idea of what's the right thing to do. Harry Truman said, doing the right thing is easy. Trying to figure out what it is much more difficult, and it was very difficult for me in that situation.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.